yes, we all agree um, it's a language. The earlier onset of foreign language is the greater chance of language proficiency. So yes, it gives us if you have a language proficiency, we just discussed, where Sagrika also mentioned, or Yasmin also mentioned, like, yes, it gives if you know the language, maybe you are little less in your academics, but you have an opportunity with you. Even if you're very smart, if you don't have a language proficiency in English, you may have everything in you, but you will lose a job. So yes, it's a language proficiency, and
Yeah.
over the years it has developed that aura around us, that we feel that we can't live without English. Native like
Yeah.
pronunciations. Okay, now native. What do you think? Are we English is a native language to us, or it's a foreign language to us? We discussed
No, ma'am.
before Sabrika could join. Is it a native language to us, or it's a non-native language?
Non-native, ma'am.
Okay, Sagrika?
It's, I would say, native.
Yes, it is a native language to us. As
Yeah,
we already discussed, it's a part of our curriculum.
around,
It's a
yeah.
part of, yes, it's a second language to us.
Okay.
We've been learning this since our school. So there are, I just mentioned, like countries like Japan and German, they don't consider English as their second language. They don't teach in their school, but it is a part of our curriculum. We've been learning English since we were in our school. Now it's a part of nursery curriculum also. So yes, it's like a native language to us, but our pronunciations and other countries' pronunciation is always different, right? Because we brought up into, like, as Sagrika mentioned, like if you go to Hyderabad, there's an Hyderabadi English. If you go to Tamil Nadu, there's a Tamil Nadu English, and if you come to Punjab, it's a Punjabi English. So it's because the accent which we have grabbed from our ancestral, and we carry it, and we are very proud of it, and we try to change it, but it's still with us. It stays with us. Okay. Okay. So we all agree that it improves the overall performance and superior problem solving skill. Do we all agree that? Right? An enhancement of knowledge of native language. Yes, we have to enhance our knowledge. Like we all said, it's an area of improvement for us when we talk about our objective. We have to achieve that, the native language. We have to always enhance our skills. We have to improve it, right? And the development of lifelong ability to communicate with more people. Do we all agree that it will give us an ability? Yes.
Yeah, of course,
Sujata,
ma'am.
you have anything to say here? Right. Okay. So, better understanding of other cultures. Yes. English will give us a better understanding. Do we agree? Okay. And competitive
Yeah.
advantage in workforce, and in open ups additional job opportunities. As we already discussed all of that, and we say yes, it gives us an opportunity to grow, to be a part of any multinational companies, to go abroad, to study abroad. So anywhere we go, we find English is coming along with us. It's a language which supports us, which teases us, which loves us, but is there with us, right? So we all agree here? Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, teaching English as a foreign language and teaching English as a second language, TESOL, as we are doing TESOL or TRIFL, we discussed earlier, it's a same thing. So, I think I have discussed this also. So, can you see the circle here? Can you all see the oval shape circle? And do you see where is India here? Can you find India? And if anybody finds, they can just raise their hand, and they can give me the thumbs up. Okay, all of you can see India. Where is India, Sagrika?
Second circle.
Okay, why do you feel we are in the second circle? We are not in the gray circle.
Because of the same reason, I would say, the phonics way, and the people are still not adapting English as a main language here in India.
Okay, so why we are in second circle? Because we are a multi-language country, and but we still consider India as a native language, and we consider as a second language. We have multilingual languages, like Malaysia also have a lot of languages. Kenya also have a lot of languages. Singapore, they consider Malay also. If you guys know, Malayalam also is their the second language. India and the Philippines, they all have the multilingual countries, and they all have the English as their second language. So yes, and countries like Taiwan, Japan, Korea, they are still considered as a foreign language. They are still not come. They are still doesn't want to be it to be a part of their curriculum. So if you've been to Japan, you will not find any Japanese speaking in English. That's language is a challenge there.
Yeah.
And I've been to Japan, and even in Germany. Germany, I'm just telling you guys that Germany, if you have to go to Germany, they have their own set criteria. They don't have English as their entrance exam. They have Germany. They want you to learn German and come to their country. So yes, we are. This is our native language. This we consider the second language for us. But country like Taiwan, Japan, Korea, they have not yet accepted as they're the part of their curriculum or as their English as their second language. They still consider this as a foreign language. So this is what we were discussing: second language and native language and non-native language. Language one or language two, for us, English is a L2 language, but for them it's a completely foreign language. And countries like USA, UK, Ireland, Australia, they consider English as their first language. So they're also native language. It's like their mother tongue, like we discussed. Okay, so these are the country EMT. So we already discussed that. Okay, so importance of
Ma'am, I would
learning
like to
English.
ask you one more thing.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, can you go back to the previous slide, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah, this one. Ma'am, here it is written that 100 to 1000 million of speakers. Why is it written like that?
Yes, we are a large number of populations in India, and there are I think approximately this many people may be speaking English. They are an English speaker. This much of people, they speak English. That's why we consider it as a part of second language, because we have this many number of people who speak English. If any foreigner come to our country, they won't find a language as a challenge.
Ma'am,
Because
is it training about in these second circle people, or that the people, the countries in which are in gray?
the gray country, which we already discussed, they don't consider English as their part of their curriculum. That's what I've said before also, like Japan, Korea,
Yeah.
Germany. They don't consider, they consider English as a foreign language. Like they don't want to be, if you want to go there, if you want
Foreign
to
language.
Germany, yes, they don't have their English as part of their curriculum. For going to Germany, you have to clear the German exam. Like we have to go to America, we have to clear the TOEFL, and you have to go to London, you have to clear the IELTS. So if you have to go to German, they have a Germany qualification, German qualification, which you have to clear. So they have not accepted English as a part of their curriculum. So that's what we are talking in these oval shaped circles, like, oh, we have to like we are a country where we accept English as a second language, and you will not find the challenges. If any foreigner come to our country, he will not find as a English as a challenge, to go around. He will not find, if he go and stay in a hotel, the language which we use is either Hindi or English. We will not find anybody using their native languages, their mother tongues. Like, if you come to even any 5-star hotel or any 3-star hotel, it's mandatory to have a English as their language. So yes, a language is a less challenge in India, because we make sure that it is a second language to us. And it is a more challenging for countries like Taiwan, Japan, where people don't speak English at all. Like if you go to Japan, you won't find on a metro station or anywhere, you'll not find any person know English. They don't want to learn English. Yes. So these are the because they're comfortable to their own language. They like it. Like if you are at home, we prefer to speak in a Punjabi or whatever, like in Urdu or whatever language we have. We love our mother tongue somewhere. It's just that when we go, we have to go outside. We have to maintain that. We know that we want a career, so we switch to a language. Whereas it's not mandatory. It's not part of them, and they have to learn that.
But I would like to, add one thing, ma'am. As my personal experience, ma'am, I'm a huge fan of drama of these countries like Japan, Korea, and China. I really love to watch the dramas of these two places.
the kind of stories they come under. I love their cartoons. I've not seen German movies. I've seen few movies. I've seen Korean. I've not seen any. So I love
Yeah.
Japanese cartoons. They have so in depth, in their animations are so good. Like I'm myself a fan of
Yeah.
their animation. I will
Yeah.
suggest you, if you find Japanese movies good, I'll suggest you few movies of there. I
Yeah.
just can't remember the name. I just know the storyline. So I'll share few stories,
Yeah.
few movies with you. You must watch. They are like best movies I've ever seen in my life, and very touching
I
and
don't know,
very
ma'am,
nice.
where they pick up from, where they pick up their stories. They're so different. I mean, they
Yeah,
are on another level from India. You know, I mean, they
yeah,
are South Bow serials only in
completely
India.
agree.
I
I
really hate them,
completely
but the the kind of concept they choose, I really like them. But
agree.
as I've realized one thing, ma'am, that in all these countries, be it China, be it Korea or Japan, all these countries, they doesn't hate English, but I don't know why they're adapting English in their, as a native language. I don't know why they're not adapting it, but they love a lot. They love to learn English a lot.
Yes, I think it's the consonants are different there. Like if you see German as a language, it's very different than Hindi. Like for us, converting Hindi into English is much easier. For them, it's little
Yeah.
different because their consonants and their variables are very different. So for them, even
Okay.
learning English as a language is also difficult. Japanese language, it's himself it's so difficult, and if they have to acquire English, they
Yeah.
have to go through a different
Yeah.
channel altogether. Like for us, it's easy for us from Hindi to English to convert. It's no big deal. Like if we think in Hindi, we may not form a right sentence, but we'll form a sentence. Anna? So for them, they can't form a sentence. For them,
Yeah.
their subject,
Yeah, ma'am.
objects, it's very different. For us, we have to just change the whereas the object will come, where the subject will come. Active, passive, we passive. These things which we have to work for. So our tenses are completely same. Like bhutkal,
Yeah.
and past tense, present tense, it's all same. But for them, it's
Yeah,
completely
ma'am.
different.
Everything almost.
Right. So these are the challenges they
Yeah.
face. I think that is the reason they have not included as a part of their curriculum. But I'm sure how the world is moving.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, we need one international language, and English will be the one of them. I think it is already there. There's only few
Yeah.
countries which don't feel that way. So we are coming to that scenarios very soon. Okay. So yes, coming back to importance of if you
Hopefully.
guys okay, we'll just finish this session and we'll just go for a lunch after that. Okay, and we'll just take 10 to 15 minutes lunch break. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. Fine, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll just finish this slide and then we can all go for a lunch break. Okay, so important of learning English. Is it important to us? Yes, we've already discussed that. Are you guys with me in this? It is important to us.
Yeah, ma'am.
What all it gives us? It gives us the opportunity, job opportunities, and as we discussed, what else it provides us? Uh,
And most
Sujata,
important,
I
confidence.
would like to know from Sujata here, how do you think it is important to us and what all we can achieve if we know the language?
If you know this language, a lot of doors are open for us. For in jobs, we have much more opportunities there
Mhm.
because we are not bound to one language. If you
Right,
know English, it's there. No, everybody understands.
right,
So the job opportunities are more, and maybe the acceptability is also more. We can understand. Maybe we won't understand some other language, but English, if one or two words are also said, we can understand
right,
that.
right. We can understand, right.
Right.
Yes. So we all agree that it allows us, it broadened the world for us. It allows us to different job opportunities in different countries, in many countries rather. Okay. And are we all here with us knowing a language makes every international trip much more interesting? Do we all agree to that?
Mm,
If you know English,
yeah.
yes, yes. You all can give me a
Yeah,
thumbs
it
up.
does. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So anywhere you go in the world, you can find somewhere who speaks English. If we account only the countries where the English language is the official language, the United Kingdom, Australia, USA, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, the Caribbean countries, there are more than 400 million native English. So it is important to us. Will we find any country you go, you'll find people who may be speaking English, and this is the one language which we can carry along and make our trip comfortable to us, right? Okay. Simply put, we must recognize that English is an international language, the main language of this planet. Do we all agree to that? Okay. So variety motivation is a key factor. Variety motivation is a key factor as a second language acquisition. In the classroom, motivation can be triggered by, okay, how can we, I think Sagrika is a good person here. She's already an English teacher. How do you motivate your students? What is your trick and tips?
Motivate, you can say, ma'am, by showing some inspirational videos, you can say.
Right. That's a good way
And
to start actually.
yeah, so many ways of seeing videos. Like, a lot of things are there to learn from the inspirational videos, and boost up yourself, like by reading different, you can say, journals or books or stories, I can say, different ways.
Yes, I think these are the few things which makes
Ah,
learning more
self
interesting.
motivation also.
Yes,
We
like
need
reading
first
books.
self motivation, then we can
Right.
motivate
Yes.
others.
Best. Very good, Sagrika. I think this is the first thing. We have to first self-motivated.
Yeah,
If we
because
don't have,
if
if
we
a
are not unable to connect with the front
exactly.
person,
If
then we
I, as
can't
a
do.
trainer, come to you and teach a language with a very sad face and just sitting and reading to you,
Yeah,
taking.
yeah.
So I think the learner itself will not be interested. Oh, this is so boring. I never liked maths in my life. I feel it's such a terrible thing to do because, yeah, I think Sujata has a lot to say, and I agree with you here because I don't think it's my fault. I totally don't think it's my fault. It's because my teacher was so, he couldn't understand me as like, oh, this is my problem. So that is the reason I never enjoyed maths, and I had maths all my life, but I never enjoyed it. I just had it because my parents want me to have maths. So I never enjoyed maths as a subject. I think it's all because I blame it to my teacher now today. I'm so sorry, I should not do that, but I blame it to him sometimes. Okay. Adopting activities that are within their interest. Yes, if we understand our audience, like, okay, if I know who are my audience, like I know you guys are professional. If I talk as per your interest level, then I can put, yeah, I can, people may be little interesting. Like, yeah, Sagrika is from English background only. She's also a teacher. She knows, yeah, what are, she would like to interrelate the topic. If we give something out of box, she'll be surprised. Why is she's talking like that? I don't know about that. So even if somebody is interested, if we talk completely which is not related to the audience, they'll just switch it off. The button completely, boop, it's done. I don't want to learn it anymore. So it's like we have to adopt the activities which are as per the interest, and they want to learn that, right? And designing meaningful task. Yes, I think Sagrika just mentioned that we have to make task as per their interest, and we have to motivate them. The first thing which we have to do is we have to self motivate us. Okay. Integrating fun, play, and imagination in your teaching program. I think that is the only ingredient which can pull anything. Okay. And being prepared to act. So for anything, like if you are a teacher, if you want to a trainer, I think Sagrika could be a better person to explain it here, like how much preparation is goes when you are preparing for a session. You can't just be like, okay, I just walk in and sit here and tell you. I have to read, study, and find out my content, and I have to plan everything before I come to the chair and say, okay, today we are talking about TESOL. So I have to prepare, and I agree. I think Sagrika will agree to me on this. Say, like, yeah, you have to be prepared. Okay, keeping an effective filter low. And so we have to keep our expectations low from the, I can't come and feel, I can't just come with a mindset and think, oh, they all must be knowing this. So I have to keep my expectations pretty low. I just can't think, oh, don't you know that? I can't come with an attitude like this. As a trainer, I should be, no, I don't know with whom I'm seeing. They may, I may be good in English, but they may be good in other things. So if they are learning, I don't come with an attitude, oh, I know it all. You don't know that. So I think teaching is one noble career which should be noble always. It should not be, it should be always be sharing career. It should not be like, oh, I know it all kind of an attitude, which doesn't work in a teaching profession. Okay. So coming back to our content, so we the language acquisitions and training teaching methodologies. So I would start with Sagrika again, since you've been a
Yeah.
teacher. What are the methodologies or what are the training aids you think is required for learning language? What are the training aids you guys use, and what do you think which we need more? What can be useful?
Methodology you are asking me.
Yes, methodologies and aid, like training aids.
Methodology, I would say like from lecture method.
Very good.
Okay. And one thing that is one to many.
Okay.
Okay. That is called direct method teaching.
Yes.
Okay. And one more thing like TLM use teaching learning materials through.
Yes.
And
So these are the few training aids which we use.
used
Yes. So visual aids, I think we all know what are the visual
audio
aids.
visual aids.
Yes. What are the visual aids here? Anybody knows what are the visual aids, like
That you can
visual
see.
that you can see, like the blackboard, the whiteboard, or maybe the presentations, softboard, drawings. So these are the visual. And uh, there's a three approaches to a training. One is a kinetic approach, if you guys know that, like with where you use all the methods, like as a teacher, what we, or as a trainer, what we have to keep in mind when we prepare any session, we have to keep in mind, like our session is just not about lecture. Why do we say that it should not be based on lecture? Anybody? Sujata, why do you think we feel, oh, no, the lecture it should not be lecture based?
First of all, it becomes very boring. Now the interest,
Right.
we
Yes.
lose the interest. Yes, because the other
Yes.
person keeps on talking and we don't.
Right.
So the
So the
lecture
other
is
person
actually.
loses interest. It becomes boring. At the same time, not everybody learns through lecture. There may be so few students who may be who like to listen and they'll grasp it. But some few maybe will watch it and will grasp it. Few maybe listen and grasp it. So we have to use all the aids, visual, like for those who can't, who will find it more interesting on the board, or who will learn it through the board. And audio, somebody will hear it and will find it more interesting. And audio visuals like movies and PPT, some people find that there's the colors more interesting. So we have to use all the audio visual aids to make the class or session more interesting. What are the some other methods? One is one is a deductive method. Now, the what is this deductive of learning approaches? Where here we say, I think this is a learning approach. We use it in all the schools, where we are taught rules. Like if we go to school as a teacher, what we do in schools, we give all the details. We teach them tenses. We teach them all the grammar, and then we tell them, okay, now you tell us how do you use them. This is a deductive learning, which we say, like where you inform or give them all the information, and then you tell them now apply them. Like we tell them to form a sentence with them. That is a deductive learning. It's an approach where we give learner all the details what is required to form a sentence. This is one method which is popular, quite popular, and we use it in all our school. So we know the example, the grammar translation method. We do it every time we school in school, we do it. And then there's an inductive learning. Inductive learning is we don't tell student anything. We don't inform him that these are the rules. We tell them, okay, you have to form a sentence. How do you think? We may just give him a sentence. मैं खाना खा रहा हूँ. We give him that sentence and we want him to translate in English. Or we probably tell him to write an essay in English. This is an inductive method where child have to just brainstorm himself and figure it out what he's supposed to do, how he should write a letter, or how he should form a sentence when he doesn't know how to do it. So for some kids, these things work. Some like challenges. For some kids, this must be. And do you think which one is you think is more successful? Which approach is more successful? Anybody? Yasmin?
I think deductive method, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
And
because
Sujata,
there we
you
need
all.
to because there we need to tell them first rules, then only we are telling them to apply.
Yes. Yes. So, like anything you choose, some kids find that brainstorming things work for them. So these are the two different training in learning styles which we can, or learning approaches which we can choose to teach, to make them to understand them better. You know. So can you all hear me?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, so let's learn more inductive. I think we've already discussed this. So this one thing is called acquisition versus learning. So acquisition is basically the process when people naturally develop a proficiency in language, which method is this? This is a inductive style of learning where a child is naturally he's following, like nowadays when we see our kids, like I have a 2 years old daughter. I see her that she learned English in a very small span of time. She speaks only English as a language, not because I taught her anything. It's just that she watches TV in English and she grasps it. I don't tell her to form a sentence, but she was already. So this is the inductive, it's a natural way which she's learning and she's gaining a proficiency in language because she liked to do it. And I'm not teaching, and she doesn't know grammar at all as of now. She doesn't know tenses. She just forms a sentence. So she's naturally glowing into that. Is an acquisition, which is an inductive style of learning, where you just leave the child and let him discover it, let him find a way to learn it. So this also works. Like I see my daughter that she knows English as a language, and she makes a perfect sentence. She doesn't know any rules, but she's able to form a sentence. She's able to talk in English. She knows what goes where. So this is a, this is a one approach. And versus learning, the process which we formally develop here in the school style. This is a school style learning, a lecture based learning, where you tell a child, like, okay, this is how you form a sentence, where the subject goes, where the object goes. This is how you form a sentence. So that is a learning. So these are the two different approaches, inductive and deductive, which which makes learning more interesting. So both are right. Both have their own pros and cons. Both have their own way of you know of learning, and they equally turned out well. Like we learned, I think maybe my daughter is able to do it, but if you tell me, if I like how we brought up, we probably wouldn't have learned English if we not given by our teachers the rules. We would be probably challenging here to form a sentence. So it's all because we had the learning approach, we had a deductive approach. We were able to form a sentence today. Okay. So this is called, one is called the bottom up process, and other one is called the top down process. Top down process is where you analyze and process the language. Then you make a comprehension. And bottom up is a process you making use of the principle. We just discussed the deductive method, where you use the principal information which is given to you. On that information you form a sentence. Like we tell our kids, it's a past tense, so bhutkal mein, this is how we form a sentence. And top down, where you don't give him any information, human brain analyzes, okay, this suits better. Like if I see my daughter, she forms a sentence on her own, where she analyzes the thing when she listens to us, or probably when she watches TV, and on that basis she forms the sentence. She doesn't know rules, she doesn't know anything. Okay, so these are the two different approach, and these are the different strategies of teaching. These are the different strategies of the different aids, probably computer assisted. We all use this computer assisted language learning. Yes, this is what we are doing now, right now in the virtual platform. We are using computer as a source of learning material. Okay, traditional classroom teaching procedure derived from the situation approach of presentation, practice, and production, and computer-aided instructions. Okay, so these are the different strategies. What are the other approach? Cognitive approach and constructive approach. These are the two different approaches we uses. Now, anybody can explain me what is a constructive approach and what is a cognitive approach? Um, should I go to Sagrika? Sagrika, can you explain
Yes.
with which show what is a cognitive approach and what is a constructive approach?
Constructive, I can say you can plan and you can step by step process.
Okay.
Constructive, that's
Yes, it's a
some
constructive.
process
Like
we
we
need
have.
to construct.
Yes, it's a process, right?
And
So
cognitive, I can
we
say,
learn English. It's a process. It's a constructive approach.
and
How now our
cognitive,
generation kids are learning.
yeah, and cognitive, I can say it's like imaginary and thinking process, free thinking process.
Right. Hmm. Okay, yes, that's right. So when we talk about cognitive approach, it's more of a most sort of approach which nowadays which we see like our children, they learn through cognitive approach more. They grasp, they analyze, and accordingly they make their way. And constructive, which how we brought up. So this is a generation gap, which we find
Yeah,
like, oh, they got everything so pre-plated that they don't have to work for it. They have it, and
yeah,
whereas
but
we have to learn
generally
it.
today they are doing, ma'am, they're showing just a picture,
Mm.
whatever there,
Right,
and
that's the
they just,
cognitive.
yeah, and they send it whatever you just feel, just write. Maybe a story, maybe a simple line
Mm.
story, free line. That is the way of
Right.
learning today.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, and honestly, it is working because
Yes, yes.
children nowadays they are smarter than what we were in their age. So it's working. Practically, it's working.
Yeah,
Okay.
thinking process is used, ma'am.
Yes, yes, they're able to analyze. Their judgments are better. Their motor skills are better, and it works. है ना? So these are the different approaches.